Welcome back everyone, I'm K Plays Games, this is EVE Online once again, and today we're going to be talking all about hybrid turret weapons. Hybrid turrets are commonly used by the Gallente Federation, the Caldari State and Serpentis factions. These are the factions which have traits that boost hybrid weapons. Obviously any ship with a turret slot can fit hybrids, but do check if your ship has traits for a different weapon system and please use that weapon system instead of hybrids. We can check this out here by going to Neocom menu, Ship and Ship Tree. We'll click on Gallente Federation. Here we are. Even their tiny little rookie ship has traits for small hybrid turrets. And so does this Incursus, and so does this Atron, and so does this Catalyst. And at cruiser size you have the Thorax, then the Executor Navy issue, battle cruisers and Brutex, and then you go up to battleships and you have Megathron and Talos. All these ships have hybrid turret bonuses. Again, for the Caldari, the rookie ship has small hybrid turrets, as does the Merlin, and the Cormorant, and the Moa, and the Ferox, and the Rock, so they have quite a few ships that can do them. And the Serpentis Pirates, they all have hybrid turret bonuses as well. As turret weapons, hybrids are subject to all the mechanics that were covered in the turrets guide you can find in the guides playlist on this channel. Hybrid weapons require ammunition, also referred to as charges in the game, to fire. They will consume 1 unit of ammunition every time the weapon is fired. And hybrid weapons also require capacitor energy to fire. This is why they're called hybrids, as they need both ammunition and capacitor to operate. All hybrid charges are locked to doing a mixture of kinetic and thermal damage types, which we can have a look at here. We'll just show info on this weapon. Use with, so hold shift, open this. Antimatter charge, thermal, kinetic, and then we'll do the same with lead, thermal, kinetic, and same with tungsten, thermal and kinetic, and so on. Every single ammunition on this huge long list will do a mixture of thermal and kinetic damage. So if your enemy has very high kinetic or thermal resistances, well, that's just tough luck for you. You're just going to have to chew through them really slowly. The different ammunition types have different damage modifiers, different range modifiers, and different capacitor use needs, as can be seen on this chart, which is on your screens right now. Faction variants of the various ammunition types get higher damage, but all the other statistics are the same as Tech 1 ammo, so the same range, same cap use, and so on. As you see at the bottom, Tech 2 ammunition comes in 2 different forms, each for railguns and blasters, one of which is short range and higher damage, and the other one is extended range. Hybrid turret ammunition reloads in only 5 seconds, which is pretty good, so you can switch between the different ammunition types during a fight without spending too much time reloading. There are 2 main types of hybrid weapons. There are railguns and blasters. These 2 main categories are then broken down further into many different sub-variants, each with their own range, damage, tracking, capacitor need, CPU requirements, power grid requirements, but I'm not going to spend hours taking you through each and every one of these weapons. It boils down to railguns are long range and blasters are very short range. Railguns tend to have pretty good optimal range and pretty good fall off range, so they're fairly accurate. They do not have huge volley damage or very high damage per second, they're just kind of alright, they're not great, they're not awful. You can see the range here if we turn on the tactical overlay and zoom out. We'll mouse over this 200mm railgun too. Optimal range 14, fall off 26. It's not fantastic, it's not terrible. Blasters are almost point blank range. Their optimal range is absolutely tiny and their fall off is rather short as well. The payoff for this is that blasters are some of the highest damage weapons in the whole game. You just have to be able to get them into range. See, we've got the tactical overlay still on, we'll mouse over the blasters. These tiny little rings in here. Optimal range 1875 meters and fall off is less than 7000. so they're extremely short range. There is an even more extreme version of blasters called polarized blasters. These do truly incredible damage, but they have the serious negative effect of reducing all of your resistances to 0. That's right, you heard me. All of your shield, all of your armour, and all of your hull resists are set to 0, no matter how many resistance modules you have fitted and whether or not they're turned on. This is mainly used in extreme fits where dealing massive damage is all that matters. Weapon upgrades wise, the low slot module, which increases damage for hybrids, is the magnetic field stabilizer. Don't get it confused with gyro stabilizers or heat sinks. Make sure you pick magnetic field stabilizer. This is a low power slot. It's passive, so it doesn't need any capacitor. It increases damage and rate of fire. And as they are turret weapons, hybrids benefit from tracking modules, so the tracking enhancer for low power slot and tracking computer for mid power slot. They work very similar. The tracking enhancer is passive and provides free bonuses to tracking, optimal range and fall off range. Tracking computers are a mid power slot and they require capacitor to run. And these also provide the same 3 bonuses to tracking, optimal range and fall off range, just a higher amount of them. Tracking computers can also be specialised using scripts. If we show info on this and then click used with, here we are, optimal range script and tracking speed script. Scripts double one set of bonuses and remove the other. So if we fitted a tracking speed script to this module, it would double this tracking speed bonus to 20, but it would remove the optimal range and fall off bonus. And likewise, if we fitted the optimal range script, it would double the optimal range and the fall off bonus, but it would remove the tracking speed bonus. Stasis webifiers are mid-slot modules, which are pretty short range, need capacitor to use, but they slow the enemy down by a significant amount, making them significantly easier to hit. Obviously these are really good when twinned with blasters, so you can get in range and keep the enemy in range. So you see here, this Tech 1 Stasis Webifier only has optimal range of 10 kilometers, but it does cut the enemy's speed by half, which is great. For longer range engagements, we have target painters, which are also mid-slot modules which need capacitor to use. These have the effect of making the enemy's signature radius larger, so again they're easier to hit. This is not quite as good as the bonuses that tracking computers will give you in most cases. Target painters are good in fleets, as every fleet member benefits from the target signature radius being larger, whereas the tracking computer only benefits you, so tracking computers are usually better for solo play. There's quite a few rigs that improve hybrid turret performance. Find them here in the ship and module modifications, rigs, and hybrid weapon rigs. Let's just go through these pretty quickly. The Algid hybrid administration reduces the CPU use of your turrets, but makes them need more power grid. The ambit extension increases fall off range, but makes them need more power grid. The burst aerator increases rate of fire, but again makes them need more power grid. Remember that increasing rate of fire will also increase how much capacitor you need over time, and it will use up your ammunition faster. The hybrid collision accelerator simply increases the damage per shot, so this one can be the go-to over and above the burst aerator. The discharge elutriation reduces capacitor use, but again makes them need more power grid. The hybrid locus coordinator increases the optimal range of your turrets, but makes them require more power grid. And the metastatus adjuster increases the tracking speed, but also increases power grid needs. If you're paying attention, you will have heard that every single one of these rigs increases the power need for all of your turrets. The amount of this extra power grid needed can be reduced by a skill found in the rigging category. And surprise surprise, it's hybrid weapon rigging. So you train this and it reduces the extra amount of power grid that these rigs make your ship demand. Skills wise, as they are turret weapons, the various skills that improve hybrid turrets can be found in the skill sheet under the gunnery heading. Gunnery itself and rapid firing both increase rate of fire and therefore increase capacitor use. These can be countered somewhat with the controlled burst skill, which lowers capacitor use per shot. Surgical strike gives you more raw damage per shot. Motion prediction gives you more tracking speed. Sharpshooter adds more optimal range. Trajectory analysis adds more fall-off range. Then there are lots of weapon specific skills for each size of hybrid weapon. So there's small hybrid weapon, medium hybrid weapon, large hybrid weapon and extra large hybrid weapon skills. Each level of these adds more raw damage per shot to weapons of that size. And then when you get these to level 5 and open up Tech 2 weapons, there are additional specialization skills for railguns and another set for blasters, again at each of the 4 different sizes, so that's another 8 skills in total for you to chew through. You may also wish to look through the engineering section of the skill tree to improve capacitor performance when using hybrid turrets. There are matching implants for all the skills listed above, running from 1% to 6% bonuses. Skill hardwiring implants effectively can act like an additional skill level over and above level 5. I'm not going to bother reading them all out, but you can find them here in Market, Implants and Boosters, Implants, Skill Hardwiring, Gunnery. And you can browse your way through all these if you want and find the ones that are best for you. As I said, I'm not going to read them out because there's far too many. So that is pretty much all you need to know for hybrid weapons. So let's do a quick recap. They are locked to kinetic and thermal damage types. They're fairly accurate. They have both ammunition and capacitor needs to fire. Reloading is only 5 seconds. Railguns are long range and pretty decent damage. Blasters are very short range and do huge damage. I hope you found this guide informative and I hope you come back for the next one. Until then, take very good care of yourselves and I'll talk to you again soon.